All right, Michael. Dude, again, super excited to have you on the show. I was thinking back, it might have been at Valley maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But you and your dad were like the first people that were like, "Hey, like we watched the show," and I was like, in my head, I'm like, "Dude, this is like the first people that were not like friends or family that watched it," and I was like, "Dude, people watch it."
Yeah, no, my dad saw it on Instagram, and we screencast it on the TV, and we've been watching it for quite a bit now.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that. Once I'm trying to figure out shirts, so I'm working on with one of my buddies. I'm trying to dial that in, but once that we get the shirts going, I'll send. I need to get your size, and then I need to get Coach Aho's size. I
Oh
had him
yeah,
on the show, so I'll send it up to you guys at University of Mary, so you guys can have some.
oh yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah, you're probably what? Like, are you an XL or a double XL?
XL, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. I imagine
They
Coach is probably an XL too.
I haven't seen him in person in a while, but he
Yeah,
still wrestles every day.
yeah, yeah. He's still in there.
Cool, man. So I kind of want to start talking about, I guess just your recruiting process. Why did you choose Mary?
It was a couple of different things. I mean, it came down to money, but just the program there. I like how Aho runs it. I like that he's building the program, and like the other week, this past week, they got a really big donation, and so he's pulling in money. He's pulling in really high quality recruits, and so I feel like it's something I could buy into, and I mean there were other things that were going into it too. Like I'm Catholic, and so it being a Catholic university, that was a heavy part in me choosing UMary. And like I know people that go there already and they love it. They say it's a great place to be. And yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I would have been Aho's first recruiting class if I ended up going there. But when I went on my visit, it was cool because like he just has like so much energy, and I feel like how he portrays himself and how he carries himself. It's like, dude, I know you guys are gonna be good. But at the time, it was like I didn't know like if I wanted to go into that situation. But I did think that the school has just grown, I think, tremendously. And then
Yeah.
I also think I'm trying to remember exactly what the church looked like. The church is kind of big, isn't it?
Yeah. They like in town there's like five different Catholic churches in Bismarck.
Hmm.
And then on the campus there's like a main chapel. And then there's probably about like five smaller chapels kind of sprinkled throughout the campus.
Yeah, and it's I want to say it's maybe like a 25-minute drive from Bismarck. It's south, right? I want to say. Yeah, I know this,
Yes.
dude. If you're gonna drive into town at any point, because you're not walking.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have to you're gonna have to live on dorms your first year?
Yeah, yeah. So over there, you have to be in the dorms till you're 21. So it'd be like my junior year before I can live off campus if I decide to.
They had I know they had some dorms, and then they also had like student like apartments, I think, that were, I want to say, like on campus or maybe on the edge of campus. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, there's like the main cluster of campus, and like there's like they're more separate because they're mostly for like married couples and people with children. So you have to be 21 to live there because there's like a bar there. But
Nice.
yeah, no, it's like it's kind of it's kind of separated from the campus.
When you made your commitment, I feel like you did it maybe in the fall. I want to say it was relatively early, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was well, I think it was yeah, it was no, it was not really no, it wasn't the fall. Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't the fall.
Was that
It
something
was
that you had like planned on? Did you want to commit early, and that way you can kind of just focus on wrestling?
yeah. Yeah, I'd wanted to just commit early because I felt like having to 'Cause, I mean, recruiting is a process, and so I felt like if I could kind of, nail where I wanted to go before my senior year, then I could, kind of relax having that off my shoulders and really focus on my wrestling.
Yeah.
Just kind
When
of, yeah,
Well, I mean, I think that's something that yeah, I think it's like some kids they want to wait till after just to see if they can get more money or if they can have a really good senior year. Maybe that opens up other options. But I think it's like one less stress out of your life. Were there
yeah.
still schools that were trying to get you, like even though you said you were going?
A couple. I just like a letter here and there, or maybe a phone call. But for the most part, it died down pretty quick after I committed.
Yeah, it was something that I think, especially now with like the transfer portal and the NIL and college and stuff like that, I feel like you might be committed, but like some coaches are like, we're going to recruit you
Yeah.
until you sign and it's official.
Yeah, no, yeah. I've seen that. I mean, Miguel flipping commitments, Root, there's a lot of guys that have, and it's good for them, but I don't know, for me, I felt like Mary was the best place for me. And so it
Yeah.
just didn't really tug at my interest as much.
So I don't know if you still live in Tehachapi or you lived in Tehachapi, but I know it gets cold in Tehachapi. It's not like North Dakota cold. Are you
No.
ready for the cold?
Oh, it'll definitely be a change. My mom has been getting me winter clothes and long sleeve shirts, jackets, making sure I'm all bundled up. And yeah, it'll be a change. I went on my visit, it was in February or March, I think. But it was still pretty, like we got off the plane, got out of the airport, and the first thing we saw was like a 20-foot snowdrift.
Yeah.
And it was insane. But the cold wasn't that bad. We'd be wearing jeans, like long sleeve shirts during the day, and it'd be fine. But as soon as the sun goes down, it's killer cold. Like you do not want to be
Oh my
outside.
gosh. Yeah, I think the big thing is like the wind. I feel like it gets pretty windy, and it's like the combination of yeah, it's cold, but like whatever. But when the wind is like hitting your face and
Yeah,
like you take a breath and it's like like it's in your throat,
yeah,
man, you got. I don't know. I feel like so I lived in Illinois until seventh grade, and there was kind of like a
okay,
thing where like it's not cool to be super like bundled up. Um,
yeah.
but I don't know. Like I would rather not get sick. Like especially if you're there and you're training and you're getting ready for a competition, it's like I don't know. You might put a scarf on.
Yeah, I know that the chill factor is pretty heavy up there. I don't know, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. Because I don't know, I'm kind of I don't want to be like I don't want to be the guy that's all super bundled up too, having to put on and take off layers all the time. But at the same time, yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'm like, I don't want to end up getting the flu or something
No,
just
but I
because
mean
I didn't want to.
that's the other part too. You got to take that stuff off. You're not going to
Yeah,
walk around in class with that.
yeah, no, I have because like like it'll be cold outside, but the inside they have the heaters pumping, and like I heard that like a couple of the guys told me like during the year like it'll be so hot inside that they'll open up the windows just to let the cold air in because it's so hot in there, like they'll be sweating.
Yeah, like you don't get to basically control your thermostat.
No, yeah, it's just kind of from what I understand, it's just a school-wide thing.
Nice. That sucks.
Yeah, yeah, it'll take
uh,
some adjusting.
there's like a California style like Mexican place that's there. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
Not,
it's like California burrito or something like that. But you go in and it's like
yeah.
everything's like they're like surfboards and like palm trees
No,
like set
yeah.
up and like yeah, it's like trying to be like authentic like California Mexican food. It
Yeah.
actually wasn't bad, and especially if your options are like that or like Taco John's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
Yeah, that'll be the one thing I'll miss is I didn't go there on my visit, but if assuming it's still there, it'll probably be the only like semi-authentic good Mexican food in the Midwest. So
Yeah, that's probably your best bet. I mean, you could try to make your own.
yeah, no, I could try, but it'll be tough.
When do you go down there or
I
up there?
leave I leave like mid-August, like August 21st.
Okay, so
So
you're basically just in town training until that point.
yeah, I've been training so far this summer. I got a job with the Bureau of Land Management on an engine crew. So I'll be working there, and then Thursday and Friday I'll still be in the room just training.
What do what it's you said Bureau of Land Management?
Yeah, BLM. So I'm on a wildland fire engine. So we're the guys that are just kind of going through and cleaning it up.
Nice.
And
Is
yeah,
that is that something that you'd want to do like after college? You said it's like a fire engine.
yeah. I mean, I'm doing it right now. I've been around. My dad's a firefighter, so I've been around fire for quite a bit of my life, and so I've become pretty accustomed to it, I guess, and I'm used to the guys. And so I don't know if it's really what I want to do. That's still kind of up for grabs, but at least for like during college, or at least like pay off college, and I could stay up at UMary, I'll be coming down every summer and working on the fire crews.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like that's a good setup. And then you also obviously get to come back in and have the opportunity to work out with the high school guys. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like I know a good number of people that do firefighting, and from the way I talk about it, it's like yeah, there's obviously some intense parts, but like it's like you get so many days where you're just at the firehouse and you're kind of just like with the boys, like
yeah,
you're
you're just
lifting,
chilling.
you hang out. Obviously, if there's an emergency, you need to go handle it. Which those do happen depending on what firehouse you're at, with relative frequency. But I feel like that's kind of like what college, like being on a college team is, or like being on like in a frat or anything. It's like kind of hanging out with the boys and going and doing stuff. But yeah, I mean, I feel like they're hiring a lot of people right now, so it's in demand for sure.
Yeah, yeah. It took me actually quite a bit to get hired on it. I applied back in January, February, and I just got hired on last week. So
Dang.
it's been a long process to get this job.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a lot of people applying.
Yeah, probably.
I want to talk to you about this. So I'm a big fan of games, and University of Maryland, they play dodgeball, and it seems like
Oh
they take it
yeah.
from an outside perspective very serious. So how would you rate your dodgeball skills?
I'm gonna need to pick up my game. I have my hand-eye coordination sucks. Like I can throw a ball super hard, but where it's gonna go, I have no clue. So if I'm going to hold my own against Aho, I'm gonna need to pick it up.
Yeah.
He has a cannon. He has a cannon. I went on a camp in between my sophomore and junior year up there, and I mean, he would nail you. He'd nail you and you're out. You could feel it stings.
Dude.
Yeah.
We played a little bit on my recruiting trip, and it's like, dude, like I mean, I wasn't as in the games, but it was like, dude, you guys like this is like the highlight, It's like everybody's like, oh, like all right, like let's get ready. I'm like, okay, like it's dodgeball. I feel like they take it serious, which I don't know, it's kind of cool.
Oh yeah, no, they have that, and then in the room they also have a little spike ball net. They'll be playing spike ball, and that gets pretty heated too.
Yeah. Do you guys play any games in the BHS room?
Yeah, we have it's called a speedball. Basically, it's just like you have two throw mats, and it's kind of I guess it'd be like ultimate frisbee with the dodgeball, and it's basically ultimate frisbee, but you're suplexing everyone. So
Yeah, you gotta be
yeah,
careful.
it gets pretty violent in there.
Manny Rivera had to stop playing that because one of our guys like grabbed him, and grabbed this other dude, and like ripped him into the wall. He ended up giving him a concussion. I'm
Oh
serious,
damn.
like a legit concussion. We're like, all right, no more of this. It was out of season, so like it wasn't the end of the world, but it was
Oh
like
yeah.
we
Yeah,
can't do this anymore.
I remember one time all the guys they kept trying to like defend me and they ended up holding up the throw mat and basically it was like five guys on the throw mat and I ended up just like bulldozing right through the throw mat
Oh my
and
gosh,
just
dude.
absolutely crushing like five guys. And the
I
coach is like,
didn't
nope, nope, don't be doing that.
I didn't even think about that as like a strategy. You
Yeah, I
used to
don't
throw
know.
that as like a wall.
Yeah, it was they're using it as a wall, and then they're just bulldozing through it.
Dude, that's hilarious. What are you like most excited about going down there, like other than the dodgeball?
Uh, I mean, it's a lot. It's just being able to, I don't know, be a part of the team. I like, they do have they're really close to one another. Like they'll pray with one another. They'll fight with one another, hug one another. It's definitely there's a lot of camaraderie over at UMary, and I'm really looking forward to just being a part of the team and the fact that I mean at 97 this next year I'll have Kaler. He's an All American. He's can be a training partner. Then we have Tweedy. He All American over at heavyweights, and so there's a lot of really high caliber guys in there. I feel like if I'm going to be able to peak in my wrestling and if I can, you know, go as far as I can go and be in that room. And so I'm really looking forward to the wrestling. It's the school is the school, the education. It's a really good education, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how I can go against these high caliber guys.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think training partner wise, Kalen and Tweed. I mean, those guys are pretty tough, and they've kind of done the thing that you want to do. You want to be an All American. You want to contend for a national title. They have proof of concept, like University of Mary. Like they've shown, like, hey, you can come here and win. I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool that you're the next guy, man. Like you're gonna just add to it. Yeah, I don't take this in a wrong way, but I feel like you're like 100% like a diamond in the rough. Like you just wrestle tough. You're somebody that I think. Yeah, if I'm being honest, you wouldn't be fun to wrestle. You know what I mean? Like you just wrestle
No.
hard, man. I
That's
was I can't remember who I was talking to. It might have been Montero, it might have been like Albert Adam or somebody, but they were like, dude, I hate wrestling him. He just freaking grabs you and he's so strong and it's not fun. I'm like, dude,
yeah.
yeah, like I where do you think that style kind of came from?
Uh Adam. Adam. He like when I got to BHS, um, I mean I've been wrestling at Tehachapi, and so I was okay on my basics, but like I did not have heavy hands. My single leg sucked, double leg sucked. I was very rough overall. But like he definitely taught me, fighting hard because like he's starting even from freshman year. Like when we'd be going live, he would break me and then he would be on my head, not letting me get a moment's rest. And so and like now I've made that into my own thing now. And so just kind of like my top, I'm always on the wrists. I'm riding, grinding till the guys break. And I feel like that's kind of how I wrestle. Just always on your head. But a lot of that's from Coach Adam. He definitely likes his wrists.
Yeah, there was many a time when I was a freshman where I would spend a lot of time on the mat, just couldn't get out. Um, but I think kind of adding to what maybe some of the things that you do. You had quite a few matches where you're wrestling tough guys, and I think at the high school level, there's so much pausing between positions. Like you'll get into like a sequence, and like a score will happen, and then there's kind of like a pause. But I think where I think you're going to translate very well into the next level is you're able to kind of build those sequences together. I was trying to think. It might have been wrestling Platt, but you get out and you're like right back in on his legs, and you guys are out of bounds. So it's like most of the time it's like, we're out of bounds. Like we're
Yeah,
just gonna let us be out of bounds. But you're just like, nah, if there's a chance I can get a takedown right now, like I'm gonna get it while you're not ready or possibly not ready for
yeah,
it. Uh,
that was a lot of the drilling we would do. It was like he would again like he would be going live. Coach Ad would cut me or Montero, and they're right in my face, and so I kind of learned to kind of just be ready. I guess in all situations, just kind of being ready to scrap. Like as soon as I get out, go back in.
yeah, I feel like you have those guys as your workout partners between Montero and Adam and Albert, and I'm sure there's other guys that I'm not thinking about. Plus, that guys on the high school team like Stanley. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, you have to be tough. You
yeah,
have to be tough in that room.
yeah.
How do you personally like get better at the sport? Like it seems like it's something that you try to, obviously you have coaches in the room that have the experience at the Division 1 level and having coaching at different places. They have that experience, but is it something that you just try to kind of emulate them because that works, or is it something that you kind of go off on your own and try to find things and bring it back to the room?
Um, I like kind of a mixture of both. Um, Most of the time, like it really wasn't until this past year, like I was doing stuff on my own. Like before, I would be, I'd practice, but I wouldn't do a whole lot beyond that, like what coach requires to do. But like this past year, I really have been trying to, watching technique videos, seeing Taylor, Schneider, um, earn your gold medal on Instagram, like those guys, just kind of watching what they do and just trying stuff out at practice, like when we're going live or we're drilling. Because a lot of and really just talking with our coaches, with my coaches, just seeing what can I always ask Albert because Albert but he how he wrestles me, he like focuses on one area, and
Hmm.
then once I kind of figure that out, then he'll jump to another area that I suck at. And so through that process, this past year, like I'll always be asking him, okay, I've figured this part out. Now what can I do for this? And just trying to get a little bit better every day.
Dude, you can't lose that mentality, man. You got to keep that same energy when you get into college.
Yeah. No, it'll be because I mean, because Coach Aho, he has a plethora of knowledge, and on top of it, just the other college guys, is they've been there and done that already, and so if I could just try to kind of just pull from their minds a little bit, kind of make my own style.
Yeah, that's a big part of it. That guys that are good at wrestling is like they're able to take something that somebody else does or teaches you, and you have to like make it your own.
Yeah.
Um, I think yeah, I was funny. Dude, your guys' hair was it before Masters or was it before State?
Uh,
I think,
Before state.
dude, whose idea was that?
Um, if I remember right, it was Jake's idea first, and then it just kind of then Jake was Jake's idea, which is crazy because he's the guy on the team who adores his hair. And then it kind of trickled throughout Braden, Bo, and then it was like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna do it blue, and it looked good for about one day, and then after the first practice, it was bad. We had like blue stains coming down our faces, and it was bad.
You guys did it like I don't like the week before or something like that, maybe.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was like the week. It was the week before, the weekend before state. We
So
had
you
a little team party, and just kind of all the moms came. We all dyed our hair.
so you dyed it blonde and then blue.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's the move, dude. It looked bad, bro. Like
Oh,
it
it
did not
was
look
bad. Oh,
good.
I know. Oh, yeah, no. It was, yeah, I'm never dyeing my hair again because the junior year I tried, because the junior year I was like, oh, yeah, because everyone was like, oh, yeah, no, we're going to dye our hair. We're all going to buzz our hair. No one did nothing. So I decided to go and bleach my hair myself. And it turned into like this pea yellow nastiness. It was horrible.
It's hard.
I've had, yeah, no, I've had 2 years of bad hair first, the final competition, and I'm not doing it again.
I mean, I feel like with this team and how again from an outside perspective, and I talk to your coaches and stuff. It seems like you guys are pretty close together, and a lot of the guys on the team have been around each other, have been wrestling with each other since they were kids. So it's kind of cool, kind of to see out of Bakersfield this team. But I also feel like to some extent there's some pressure, right? Like you guys are, you're not okay with finishing, sixth. You're trying to beat Clovis. You're trying to beat, Clovis, or they're trying to, dominate and really establish yourself, as one of the better teams in the state. Do you feel like that was some kind of pressure that was on you guys at all, or was that something that you guys weren't even thinking about?
Um, I mean, I guess there was a pressure, but it was a pressure that we put on ourselves. It wasn't, I mean, obviously Coach Adam and Albert and Montero, they want to win. It's not in their blood to lose at all. And but I feel like because we've all, grown up with one another and been wrestling with one another for so long, it's like we know that we're good enough to beat these guys, and we know that as long as we keep to our training, that we can beat them. And so it was because every year, Coach Ad would always ask us, "What's our goal as a team?" And every year it was always to win a state title, and we would come up with that ourselves and tell them that. And so there was a pressure, but it was definitely placed on us by us. And so yeah.
Yeah, and pressure is a privilege too, man. Like that's as a competitor, it's like you kind of want that. I feel like with high schoolers, though, sometimes it's hard to be able to handle that pressure at times. Your freshman year you missed because of COVID, and you still get
Yeah.
some training, you still did some competitions, but your sophomore year, you're having to make that adjustment, to high school wrestler. And I think, for a lot of the COVID seniors that missed their freshman year, I think in a lot of ways, maybe the COVID year was a blessing in a lot of ways. It's like you're able to maybe do some things that were a little bit different. What was maybe your COVID training situation? And do you feel like it helped get you ready for high school?
Um, well, I mean, like we were practicing. One of my teammates had his dad had just like a, what do you call it?
Like a storage unit?
Yeah, it was just a big storage unit, and we threw our mats in there and we were practicing in there. And I mean, it still got me ready. Maybe not competition wise, because there weren't any big competitions, and then I didn't go to the fake state that they had held. So I had just, I mean, through practice, I was ready, but definitely my first couple competitions sophomore year was kind of okay, it was kind of like a mentality switch I had to make because, I mean, not being able to compete, it's it's good to be trained, but I feel like for me, I need to be able to compete to really kind of feel where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, you can train and you can train at a high level, but where you ultimately, I think, acquire skill and also like develop a pre-match routine, dealing with kind of like the butterflies. There's nothing that totally simulates a competition other than a competition. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about your first state tournament. You're seeded maybe fifth, and you end up taking third. You took some losses, obviously earlier in the year, but it was something that I think what impressed me the most, and this is, I think, just the theme every single year, dude. It's like things don't go your way, but you just find a way to battle back. And your sophomore year, I mean, the bigger Merrill, like he's pretty good, but
Yeah.
I want to say you beat, was it, did you beat Platt in the quarters that year?
Yeah.
So you beat Platt. You ended up losing to Merrill, but you battled back, dude. Like talk about, like, I guess going into that state tournament. You talked about maybe some of the mentality stuff. Was that something? I guess what was kind of going in your mind, and I guess what were you thinking about going into that tournament?
I was thinking about a lot of things. So that year I had lost to the Buchanan 195 like 4 or 5 times in a row. And the week at Masters, that was the first time I'd beaten him. And it was by, I think it was at 3 points or something like that. He ended up losing in the blood round at the state tournament. But going to that, I mean, I'd lost to Merrill. And then the next is my goal was to win, was just to place at state that year. And so by the time I made it to Merrill, I'd done it. But at that point, I was like, okay, I can win. I can do this. So then, I mean, the Merrill match did kind of crush me a bit, but because I mean, like the next match I had Whitworth from Fountain Valley, and I think I ended up pinning him, but it was like a last second reversal to a cradle. And then for third place, I had a guy from Foothill. I had lost to him 3 times that year, and I was able to get it done, but it was it was just kind of daunting at first. Like my first couple matches, it just being in the arena, like I'd never experienced anything like that in my life. Like because I'd never been on a national team or went to any super really big tournaments as a kid. So that was my first real kind of taste of a really big, meaningful tournament. And like now I thrive on it. I love wrestling big tournaments. Like it's like seeing all the lights and everything. Like it gets me pumped up. It gets me ready to go. But back then it was definitely really a daunting experience. Like I'd never done this before. And I didn't even have a I didn't have nothing else to kind of like relate off of it. It was just I had to get in there and get it done.
I mean, yeah, dude, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
because I feel like a lot of times when you first are in that arena, like, you get like real big guys and you're like,
Oh
dude,
yeah.
this gets full, at certain points of the tournament, like that's wild. And the lights come on, and it's like that's where we really like find out. And I think that's what makes that tournament so special. But again, dude, like I don't it's crazy how you went from, kind of like maybe a little bit nervous because of the stage to just coming back and beating guys that had beat you earlier in the year and outperforming guys that beat you earlier in the year. Dude, it's crazy, and I think it's again, I think it's just a testament to who you are, man. You're just tough, and you find a way. Your junior and senior year, dude. I mean, I know it's frustrating, and it's heartbreaking. But again, like, how would you describe your ability to? I mean, you lose, obviously these semis, and basically it just comes down to a sequence, in both matches. Margin for error is so small. But I guess how do you pick yourself back up and choose to like come back, because there's not that much time after losing that round and then having to come back and wrestle again.
Yeah. I mean it's both years I mean, it was like yeah, I had like 15 minutes and then they were calling my name again. I don't know, it's like sophomore year, it was just my whole goal was to just place a state. So I mean, win or lose after Merrill, it wouldn't have destroyed me at all or killed me. But like the past 2 years, it definitely was like, oh, damn it, lost. And it was, I don't know, maybe not so much junior, but like this past year when I had lost to Platt, I was gonna kill anyone that was in front of me. I was so mad. So I was just kind of like I was just gonna murder anyone who stepped across that line in front of me. And that's just kind of the mentality I had this past year. Junior year, it was a lot of the same. I was just I was mad, frustrated, upset, and but I had to get my emotions under control. After both junior and last past year, the semifinals, like I had to go talk to my dad. He'd be helping trying to calm me down because I'd be crying, huffing and puffing. Then because I had to get right back down there into the arena and go do it again. So yeah, my dad definitely helped me with that. Just kind of calming myself down to and collecting myself, getting back into the zone, I guess,
Is
and
your
getting ready to wrestle.
Yeah, I mean, I can, again, from afar, I can kind of tell, you and your dad are close. Is he gonna be able to come out and watch you wrestle in college and at big events like that stuff too?
Yeah, they've been my mom and dad have already been the open tournaments I'll be doing as a freshman and just kind of come out to watch me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
they've
got
already been talking about it.
yeah. I mean, shoot, you could probably. I mean, Aho gives you okay. I mean, you could probably come out, wrestle at Roadrunner. You could wrestle at Menlo
Yeah.
or any of those other ones.
Yeah, I think my mom actually told Coach Aho that we could that because I'm basically getting vacated right now. I'm just kind of slowly throwing a lot of my stuff away and just packing it down right now. But that room, my bedroom's eventually going to just become a guest bedroom. So my mom's already offered like, hey, they can kind of come, they could crash here if you guys want to ever do Roadrunner.
Yeah, bring the whole team. That'd be
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. No, my mom and dad have already offered it up to Aho. It's kind of like, hey, we're available.
I mean, yeah. Can you imagine bringing the whole squad to your house?
That'd be pretty sick. I'm not gonna lie. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you can show them authentic Californian Mexican food.
Yeah, yeah. Show them some good stuff.
I got buddies that live in San Diego, and they hate on it.
Oh
Like
yeah.
Bakersfield Mexican food. I mean, I don't know. I
Um,
get it. San Diego is obviously closer to the border, and I feel like the closer you get, the more authentic it is. But I don't know. There's
uh,
there's some there's some good spots.
yeah, Taco Luicho. You got a Fresco up here off California. They're pretty good. The fish
Yeah,
tacos of a Fresco are bomb.
there's like really good food trucks too. But the thing is with food trucks, it's like it's either going to be the best like food you've had, or it's gonna like be a disaster. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to come out well.
Yeah, there was this there's a food truck down the street from where I live it's at this corner store every day. But it's like a sushi kind of it's like a Mexican sushi place. And it's
What?
like spicy, it's like spicy sushi. And they'll put like steak in there, they'll put like salmon, but it's like spicy.
What's this place
It's
called?
I don't remember. I can't remember off
Where
the top of my
do you know
head.
where it
But
is?
it's like off of Brundage and like if you're at like Oak Street and Brundage and you keep going past Oak Street like towards California,
Yeah.
you'll see it'll be on your left. I'll send it to you after the interview, but
Is it
it's a bomb place.
Las Panchos? Las Olcajetes? Nuestro Mexico? El Puesto Casina?
It's off of
I'm impatient. I'm sorry, dude. I
oh
mean,
no, you're good. Yeah, no
I
shit.
go off on tangents sometimes.
It's off of it's off of Rio Road and Stockdale. Okay, Stockdale, my bad. It's like it's near the Snappy's corner store.
Do you have the name of it?
No, it's not, it doesn't pop up. It's just a little food truck.
All right. So that I mean
But
that means it's legit.
oh yeah, no, it's
There's no location. It's just you just have to find it.
no, yeah, it's normally there. I haven't seen it. I mean, I haven't like went by a day and not seen it there. So it's yeah.
That
No,
was
I definitely recommend it. It's good.
I'm gonna have to check it out then. Dude, like I mean, I never really ate it like growing up, and then I moved to Santa Cruz, like I said in seventh grade, and it was like people were like, you need to go to the places where they don't speak English, like then it's gonna be
Yeah,
good. I'm like, all right, like
yeah, pretty much.
like you struggle like having to like communicate your order, like they understand you, but like you can't
Yeah,
really understand them. It's like,
yeah.
all right, you're probably in the right spot. Um,
Oh yeah,
dude. So I think one thing that when I message you, it's like, dude, your Instagram handle I think is very fitting. I think to who you are. Where did the Instagram handle come from? It's like Warrior Wrestler like '06 or something like that, right?
yeah. Well, originally it was because I was from Tashpee High School. They're the Warriors, so it was from that. Um, my dad, because originally my dad had run my Instagram before I kind of took it over, but yeah, no, my dad like was like, you can switch to like Driller Wrestler. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. But no, like it kind of became that, I guess. I just kept it. It sounded good. I it had been my handle for a while. So I just didn't really see any need to change it.
Yeah, you're a warrior, dude. Like
Yeah,
you're like you said, it's like you put yourself in a big arena. It's like you thrive on the fight. You're a fighter. You scrap. You're able to come back and battle through things. Like, dude, yeah, it's fitting. It's like a self, like a you've like not self fulfilling prophecy, but you know what I mean. Like it's something that you put out in the universe, and you just became that. You became your Instagram handle.
yeah,
You're a
but
warrior,
yeah.
dude. Yeah, maybe that's a stretch, but moving forward into college, like what are some things that you feel like you need to work on, I guess, to help you transition to that college level, like either from a technical standpoint or a mental standpoint, or maybe it's lifestyle, diet, nutrition, anything like that.
Oh, my diet for sure. My diet is not. No, my diet is not where it needs to be for college. So that's definitely one thing I gotta kind of crack down on. Wrestling wise, probably my hand fighting, just staying there because even though like how I wrestle is kind of like I break guys or like I get them tired. But even with that, I still kind of, I'll snap and I'll break away, I'll break contact, or like do a little skip around the mat and then kind of go back in. So I feel like there's little habits that I have that I need to work on with my hand fighting. That and just pulling the, maybe not pulling the trigger more, but just being doing more setups Because like what like I'll tire the guys out and I'll just like bulldoze through them, but just being a bit more technical, I guess, in my shots and being more attentive to how I set my shots up. I feel like those are the kind of things I need to work on.
Hand fighting is one of those things where it's when you're a kid, it's like you learn like, all right, this is an underhook, this is an inside tie. It's like these setups, but it's like being able to, I think, in a larger way, it's like just focus on just trying to just get them to move, like get them to come out of their
Yeah,
stance and find an opening. So it's like, yeah, when you skip away, it's like, dude, you're a pressure wrestler, man. Like you gotta stay in there, like
yeah,
especially when you get into college, like it like if your thing is breaking people, like you have to stay in their face because dude, you start wrestling, some of these better guys like Division Two, like they know how to hand fight very well. They're all strong. Like they all
yeah,
like it's weird. Division One, the way that divisions kind of wrestle a little bit differently. If you've ever wrestled D2 or Division Three guys, I honestly I feel like they are very much like strong. Like they work at that. They lift a lot more, I think, than D1 guys do, just because of how their compliance maybe works. In the off season. But dude, those guys lift. So yeah, man, you're gonna have to stay in there and get these big, strong
yeah.
guys tired.
Yeah, no, I feel like and another like with the past year, kind of how I've adjusted is because I'm a taller guy, I'm longer. And so I kind of fear, at least for high school, just being able to put pressure from distance, just kind of, being on their head, well, not necessarily, just bringing them in like this, just kind of being on their head, stay on the top of their head. That's another thing that Albert helped me work on. Just kind of not so much just being all locked up because that's what guys would try to do is they would lock me up because
Yeah,
they knew that I was faster than them and I was stronger than them. So they would try to lock me up. I can't do nothing here. And so Albert, what he would do, he would try to lock me up and I would have to fight out of it, but still keep the pressure, still moving in. But I feel like because that was part of my problem with Plot was that he was so like that was the first time I'd ever been. His arms are longer than mine. So that's the first time I'd ever like I was like he was kind of out of my distance, so I had to kind of switch it up when I wrestled him to kind of be a bit more um locking him up, I guess.
yeah.
I never had that before.
Do you watch any like big guys like either in college or internationally that kind of have your frame or your build?
Not really.
Because you
Well, I
kind of
mean,
got
other
you
than
got
like
long arms. I feel like for your weight.
yeah, other than like Taylor, I watch Taylor a lot. I watch him, Yazdani or Saj Alive. Watch a lot of those guys. I watch their clips and they but both that's mostly just Taylor just kind of utilizing my length. I mean, he's fast. He's so fast and strong.
Yeah, and he gets
So
like a little bit of an angle, and he does a lot of like outside step stuff. Like I feel like a lot of the Penn State guys do.
yeah,
And then I see like Messon brings kind of a similar style. He doesn't have a lot not necessarily of like the strength, but he has that length and that leverage. So he does a lot of stuff from like wrist ties. So that's kind of what
yeah,
I thought of. It's like you're trying to develop like stuff from space. Um, yeah, you got to watch some Messon Brink and like O'Toole and like how they like set up like their wrist taps and drags. I'm not sure like how necessarily effective it is against somebody that's like a little bit heavier because the speed and the strength thing's a little bit different.
yeah,
But I know that was one of the things that Taylor said adjusting when he went from, wrestling 74 kilos to 86 kilos. That jump, being able to kind of wrestle like a bigger guy is different. But yeah, you'll figure it out, dude.
yeah,
It
yeah.
seems
No,
like.
it was.
Go ahead.
No, it was like during the NCAA's, like Messenbrick was like the guy I was always watching. It's funny you bring him up because he was like I didn't really like I'd watched college wrestling, but I wasn't like super I don't know in tune I guess to everything till this past year. But like watching Messenbrick, like he was kind of like I don't know, I love his style of wrestling. I love how he I mean he's just go go go. I mean you saw like the Jordan Burroughs match. I mean all of his matches, no matter who he's wrestling, he's just going after him. And I definitely I like how he wrestles. He's one of the guys I've been trying to emulate for sure.
I feel like all those guys out of Aspen Wrestling Academy, they have a little bit of differences, but like a lot of their pace and like stuff that they do with like the kind of cadence that they have in their hand fighting. Like anytime there's any kind of like space, there's like little hand fakes, always trying to get people to move. If you watch like Aiden Sinclair or like Kekaisen, like it's again, it's a little bit different. Like some of the stuff, the way that they score might look a little bit different, but kind of like the cadence of the wrestling, I feel like has a lot of similarities. Um, dude, yeah, those are good guys to
Yeah.
watch for sure. Well, dude, we've been going for a little bit over. Dude,
Yeah.
I just want to say, dude, like I'm thankful to have you on. Like I said in the beginning, man, like it was cool, like to just being at a tournament, somebody like noticed that they were watching the show, and now you're on it, man. So,
Yep.
dude, heck yeah, this is awesome. Definitely, let's keep in touch. Once you get out there and you get a little bit settled, maybe check in at some point and see how the season's going, and maybe we can do another one of these.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
You'll have the school Wi-Fi though.
Yeah.
School
It'll
Wi-Fi is
just
notorious for being bad.
I don't know. I was already you married man. Their Wi-Fi is pretty dang good. Uh
Really?
yeah, it's actually pretty good.
I
Like
mean,
considering everyone's on it.
well, so I don't know. So most colleges, like that's kind of like the thing when you're in the dorms. Normally, the freshman dorms are older. Like the Wi-Fi is not as great, but like obviously, I don't think you should make a decision to go to Mary based on the Wi-Fi. But that's like one of those things where it's like, it's not going to win you a national title, but it might relieve just a little bit of stress. And sometimes those little things make a big difference. So go to Mary because of the
Go
Wi-Fi.
to Mary, yeah, go to Mary because the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is pretty good.
All right, man. Dude, thanks for coming on. Do you got anything else?
No, not much. No, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.